Welcome back, everyone, to Little Rhody Wargaming for a game of Big Chain of Commands. We have two infantry platoons and an armored platoon on each side. There are two British rifle platoons and a Sherman platoon. And on the German side, there are two Panzergrenadier platoons and a Panther platoon. So in the last remaining months of the first version of Chain of Commands, we figured we'd go out with a big game. All right, so today's game is a flank attack. The Germans have deployed in this quarter here, and the British will be coming in along this long edge here and that short edge over there. So we went ahead and did the patrol phase already, since it's going to be a very big, very long game for us. So we'll just point out where we have all the jump off points. So the Germans have one right here behind this this hedge. They also have another jump off point. They'll be rallying around this dead horse here on this side of the river. They've also got one right in the corner of this courtyard here behind the tree, and one by the bridge, and then one on their far right flank behind this bush, still mostly deploying along that side of the river. For the British, we also have 5 jump off points. We have one right here in this wheat field. We have one right behind this house, one right behind the barn. There is one on the second floor of this building here, and there's one behind this little hedgerow as well. So to go over the terrain, all of the wheat fields are going to be, well, the one wheat field is going to be light cover, so long as you remain stationary in it. Any of the houses will be hard cover. The fences will be soft cover. The hedges will be soft cover. The stone walls are hard cover, as well as these brick walls here. Any of the sort of waist high fences, so the wood fences, the stone fences there, will count as minor obstacles. The brick fence that has the kind of wrought iron spikes on top will be a major obstacle, and these large industrial walls will count as high obstacles. The bridge will be heavy cover so long as you have the sides in the way of the incoming fire, and the river is impassable. So, all that out of the way, we will move on to the defenders.
All right, so the German plan is, well, we're essentially forced to come in over here, with the one exception of this here. Knowing Ryan, he's going to take a 17-pounder and put it right here and aim it at our deployment zone. So basically the plan is we're going to take a extra senior leader for one of the infantry platoons. We're going to take a pre-game barrage to try and slow that nonsense down. And the rest of our points will be spent on entrenchments, which... well, we'll either use it to line this riverbank and hopefully give cover to everything coming in over here, or if necessary, we could put it off of this jump-off point and have a little forward operating area to try and flank him with, depending on what he comes in with. Other than that, bunker down, shoot things, and hope for the best.
Okay, so British attack plan. We have a jump-off point here and a jump-off point here. So one of the platoons we're going to use to establish a base of fire, because it's got really clean lines of sight through these trees, which I don't think we mentioned in the initial briefing. We're using the trees as not only soft cover, but it's going to be direct line of sight. So given how these trees are kind of aligned here, we should have some fairly good lanes of fire. So we can get a section in the house, we can get a section behind the stone wall here, and we can also get one of our support points, which is going to be a 17-pounder that can just cover that road there. Over here, we can have another platoon. We have a jump-off point that can get men into this barn. We have a jump-off point that can get men into this house here and just kind of catch the Germans at crossfire. With these other jump-off points, we can also have the third section of each platoon possibly start to move out along the flanks if need be. For the rest of our support points because we have the 17 pounder. We also brought another 2-inch mortar, so that'll bring us up to three 2-inch mortars to get smoke out to cover any advances we might want to do. And our last and our biggest purchase is an AVRE to help deal with just the mass amounts of German infantry. So that's the plan. Set up here, catch them in a crossfire, and try to win the long-range firefights. Okay, so we're gonna try something a little different with the filming since it's gonna be such a big game. We're gonna try to keep it mostly overhead just to move things along quickly on our end. We're gonna try to make it so that you can see as much of what's going on. So if we have to move the tripod around, we will. But we're going to be doing British infantry, German infantry, British infantry, German infantry, British armor, German armor for the kind of platoon orders. So since the British are the attackers in this scenario, their first platoon will go first. So first phase, we have a 5. That was a 5. 2, 3, 3, and a 4. All right, so there's a pre-game barrage, but you all know that anyways, watching the defensive briefing. So we managed to get 2 sections through the barrage. We got one section here behind the stone wall and hedge with Overwatch, and then we have another section with the Bren team up on the 2nd floor, rifle team down on the 1st floor. They are not on Overwatch. They came in with the 2, which actually need to put the jump off point back inside. And the senior leader and one of our support options failed to come through the barrage. So now we'll go on to first platoon for the Germans. There's the roll for first platoon Germans. We have 2 5s, 2 4s, and a 2. Yep. So we'll get that chain of command die over there for them and see what they can make of that. So with a 2, he brought on one of the German sections along with 2 entrenchments. So we have 1 here, 1 there, and they're going to be firing onto the Bren team, but that will spill over to both sections. So he's got many, many shots and hitting on 5s and 6s.
So that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6?
Yeah.
So 6 shots spread out over 4 teams.
That's 7 dice.
Yeah. I was giving him an extra shot. All right. So we'll do 1 hit on the Brens and 2 hits on the rifles. So the first Bren team going right to left for the camera. We have nothing. Then the rifle team in hard cover. We have a dead. Rifle team that's on the 1st floor. We have nothing. And the Bren team that's on the 2nd floor. We have nothing. So we have 1 dead out of the rifle team. Is it their junior leader? It is not. So 1 dead man and no shock.
Cool.
So with 1 rifleman down, they're going to be returning fire with their Overwatch. So needing 5s and 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so it's going to be 2 on each.
All right.
And they are in hard cover. So we'll go 2 on this team. Took down the tree.
2 and a 5, so 1 shock.
1 shock on 1. And the next.
6, 1 guy dies.
So dead man, is it your leader?
He's on the other team. Does that not matter?
It's within 4.
Just not leader.
Not leader. Okay, so we have a point of shock on 1, and we have a dead rifleman out of the other. So you have 2 4s left.
Yep.
So you could bring on a senior leader.
I could.
But that would leave that platoon trying to get on as if you had a preliminary bombardment. Unless you have an adjutant. I don't know. You might.
I'm not bringing one.
Okay. So nothing with those. We'll move on to British 2nd platoon. So there's a useless 6, 5, 2 3s, and a 4. So one of the sections, first section, made it through the barrage. Bren team's on the second floor, rifle team's on the first floor. They're going to be firing straight across at these men there. So, got 12 dice, meaning 5s and 6s.
2, 3.
3?
3 5s.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, Will, you get to split them up between 2 teams. They're in hard cover, so you get to put the extra one wherever you'd like. So,
Okay.
however many dice you're throwing at the one that has 1 shock.
Throw... And the other one lost a guy, right?
Yep.
Alright, we'll throw 2 dice at the guy who's got a shock, and 1 die at the other dude.
Okay.
I lose 2 guys. 1 on each side.
Okay. So, is your leader hit?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What happens to him?
5.
5? I believe that's a wounded, but I always forget what the stable is like. So, which one are you losing a man from?
I mean, the leader's on this side, so the other side.
Okay. So they are down to just the MG, and we'll see what happens to that junior leader. So the junior leader was wounded, reducing his command initiative by 1, rolled a 2 on the bad thing happens table, and there's no reduction in force morale. So we'll keep moving on with the British turn. All right, so the second section, second platoon, managed to make it through the barrage and deployed into the barn. We have the Bren team on the first floor, rifle team up on the second, and we're still able to get 12 shots on target. So needing 5s and 6s.
1.
Ah, okay. So Will gets to decide
Alright, I'll put it
what
on
one that
the
goes on to.
squad that can afford to lose a guy.
Okay, so this first one right there.
Nope.
And it's 1. All right, nothing happens. And all that's remaining for the British is a senior leader. Since we have a preliminary bombardment in place, might as well take the chance to try to bring them on. Okay, and he does come on, and we'll figure out where exactly. All right, so with that 4, one of the British senior leaders from that platoon did come on, and he's right back behind this building here. And we've got the German second platoon. So it's a...
Use the 6.
Is that a... That is an exact same roll, or almost an exact same roll as the first platoon.
Slightly better than
So 6-5, 4-4-3. So with the 3, Ted brought on first section, squad, second platoon, right behind here, and they're going to be firing out at the men in the barn. 21 shots, needing 5s and 6s.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. All right. So, Brian,
that.
that's
Rifles.
yeah, 3 on the rifles, 2 on the Bren. So here's the rifle team. We have 1 dead. And then 2 on the Bren. Nothing. So is the junior leader hit? So roll 1 die, don't get away. It is. What happens to him? He's dead. Ooh. You're right. Roll a bad thing happens. 4. All right, so the junior leader of that section is killed. If you want to stand. So junior leader killed. You rolled what? A 4? That's -2 on the force morale for that.
And then, isn't there, in Big Chain Command, when you lose a leader?
We will double check that. Okay, so that was a junior leader dead with a 4 on the bad things happen, and second platoon dropped down to a force morale of 6. So here is the British armored platoon. So we got a 6, 5, 4, 4, and a 3. Okay, so with a 3, one of the Shermans just came onto the road right down there, still staying behind the house, went on to Overwatch, and that's all we're going to do with the armored platoon. So here is the... Well, it's a double phase for the
You want to bring the senior leader?
the armored platoon. So we'll see what he does with it.
Those
So
usually
they're
put
electing
themselves
not to bring the senior leader tank on, and
House rule.
yeah, so they're not bringing the senior leader tank on because they don't want to potentially create command and control issues for bringing the rest of the platoon on. And we are kind of putting a house rule into effect as far as double phases go, since this is such a large game that you only get one double phase. If on your second phase you roll double sixes, it's just going to count as a point on your chain of command dice. So they're rolling again for their second one.
Chain of command dice.
And they get a chain of command die, a 2,
And a tank.
a 3, and a 4. Go. So with a 3, they brought on their first Panther and is going to be firing the hull and the an HE shell into which building?
Yellow.
The yellow building? Okay. Yep. So which one's this first?
This is the machine gun.
Machine gun in 5s and 6s.
2.
2. All right. So we have one on the second floor. So point of shock on the second floor, and then rifle team on the first floor is nothing.
All right.
So point of shock up there.
And then the HE.
Yep, so it's HE5, needing 4, 5s, and 6s.
1.
Got 1. Okay. Let's put it on the rifle team.
So 4s, 5s, and 6s are bad. You're good.
And nothing. All right, so that's it for the first tank, and we'll get the shock onto the board. So they decided to bring the senior leader on, and he's going to be firing onto the same building. So we've got the machine guns.
Nothing.
Nothing. And then 5 shots from the HE.
1.
1. Rifles. Point of shock.
All right.
Count as being in light cover. So we got 1 point of shock on each, and that will bring us around to the British 1st Infantry Platoon.
No, that's... Yeah, sorry.
Yep, so we've got a 6, 2 5s, a 1, and a 4. So with the 1, attempted to bring a 2-inch mortar on through the barrage. It failed, but the platoon sergeant did make it through the barrage, and he is ordering both infantry sections to fire onto these Germans here. One of the infantry sections is down a single rifleman. So here's that first one, looking for 5s and 6s. We have 1, 2, 3 hits onto them.
All right, we'll do 2 hits on the thing with 1 guy left. He's down to 1, right?
Well, yeah, the MG and the one man.
Okay, so 2 hits on them. 1 dead.
1 dead.
1 hit on the other group. Nothing.
Nothing. So you have 1 dead man. Is
Not
the
leader.
junior leader hit? Nope. Okay. So you said you were pulling that out of the
2-man group.
the 2-man group? All right, so it's just down to the MG.
Yep.
And then 12 shots from the other section of the building. 1, 2. Another 3 hits.
Okay. Is the MG a reduced effect for being 1 man?
Yes.
How much so?
I think it's like 2 or 3. Have to double check.
Okay. Well, I'll put 2 on him again. 1 point of shock.
Yep.
And nothing.
Nothing. All right, and that is it for the British 1st Platoon. All right, so here is 1st Platoon for the German infantry.
2 chain of command, 2 2s, and a 4.
Okay. All right, so the senior leader came on, ordered the man to abandon that position there. He ran over to there, pulled a point of shock on this team, and is going to have that team fire.
They're actually going to fire at the barn.
At the barn. Okay.
So that's 8.
8,
plus...
and then there's 3 rifles.
3 rifles. Okay.
Meaning 5s and 6s.
1.
1.
Yep.
Should've changed
Rifle
this
team.
up.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right.
Now roll a d6 to see if that infantry squad actually comes on.
Nope.
They don't?
All
All
right,
right, so we'll remove them from play since we screwed up the order of operations a little bit at the beginning.
No, actually, they're fine. Sorry. They do come on.
So we now know that first
have
platoon has an
something else.
adjutant
Possibly. Maybe. Who knows?
or another senior leader.
Maybe. Who knows? 4, 5, 6.
The viewers know, Will.
8.
The viewers know.
They do.
All right, so it's going to be 21 shots into what?
Same thing.
Barn?
Yep.
Okay. This is going to be a barn with a lot of holes in it.
Yeah.
All right, so 5s and 6s.
That's the dream. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So 3 on rifles, 2 on Bren. Rifles don't care.
Jeez.
Bren team doesn't care. Hooray, hard cover. And that will bring us to the second British infantry platoon. That's a pretty nice spread. 1, 2, 3, 3, 5. So with the 1, the 2-inch mortar got through the barrage. He's right behind this barn here. He got a great shot, managing to drop some smoke right here, blinding one of the tanks from being able to fire onto the farmhouse. And now the leaderless section in the red barn there is firing onto that German machine gun section with 12 shots, being 5s and 6s. That's some pretty good shooting.
5, 6, 6.
6 hits.
All right, so 2, 2, and 2.
Yep. So we'll go left to right. The one-man machine gun.
Nothing.
Nothing. The other section.
1 point of shock.
Point of shock. And then the fresh ones that arrived.
Nothing.
Nothing. All right, so we got 1 point of shock on them. That'll go right back there. And there are still 2 British 3s.
Your junior leader.
All right, so with the 3, the junior leader that is commanding this section here in the house is having the Bren team on the 2nd floor focus fire onto the 1 remaining MG. So needing 5s and 6s. That's 3 hits on him.
And 75 dice.
All right. You know what?
Yeah, 3 hits.
3 hits with 5 dice is impressive.
Nothing.
And he doesn't care. Okay. And there's 1 remaining 3 left. All right, so we're opting not to do anything with that remaining 3 because there's no real good deployment options over here where they won't get just focus fired because they're in the lesser cover, and deploying them out there will really kind of stick them out on their own, of their own initiative. So we go into the German 2nd platoon. 5, 5, 1, 2, and a 2. All right, so with a 2, Ted is going to be firing this section, this squad that's right here, into the red barn, needing 5s and 6s. Well, that's better.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, can the iron barn hold up to that? So you did what?
4 and
7?
Yeah.
So 4 on the rifles. We have 1 dead rifleman. And then 3 on the Brens. And Bren doesn't care. No threat to the leader. He's already dead. And then there's a remaining 1 and 2. All right, so Ted opted to pass with that other 3, as they don't think there's any good places to bring them on just yet. So we'll go on to the British Armored Platoon. Wow, 3 5s,
Okay.
a 3, and a 2. So with a 3, the Sherman down there moved up to the corner of the house. It is completely obstructed from the Panthers, and is going to be firing the coax machine gun at this section here. Because it moved with 2 dice to get to that position, it can only fire a machine gun with half effect. So we have 3 dice, needing 5s and 6s. Nothing! And that is it for British armor. We'll move on to the German armor.
Right there.
Yeah.
Here we go. 5, 4, 4, 2. Well, we get to use the big guy.
Yep, so the senior leader can activate.
Yep.
So the senior leader is using 2 command initiatives here to activate the main gun and the hull gun, and he's going to be using this third one via the radio to activate the driver of the other tank. But he is ordering his men to fire into the yellow house.
Yep. So, hull machine gun.
5s, 6s.
3.
3 hits. Okay. 3 into the no, 2 in the rifles.
Yeah, so we really want to.
Okay, we got a point of shock on the rifles. And then 1 hit on the Bren. The Bren is fine. And we have HE5.
3.
So needing 4, 5s, and 6s.
3.
So that's 3. And this is going to be light cover.
Yep.
So 2 on the rifles. We have a point of shock on the rifles. And then 1 on the Bren team. Dead from the Bren team. Is the junior leader up there or downstairs?
Doesn't matter, right?
Correct.
Because you killed mine or hurt mine.
It's fine.
Doesn't matter. So,
Right, so 1 dead from the Bren team, 1 shock on the rifles.
All right, and we're going to move the other tank on 3d6, because why the hell not?
All right, so he's going to go
Stopping
flat out.
behind the bridge.
Okay. Hey, congratulations. It gets up to the bridge because it's fast and it's on a road with 3d6. And you just had another 4 and 2 2s left, so there's nothing you guys can do with that.
So we're just going to...
Right up through the smoke to the bridge.
Should come back this way a little bit.
Fix the smoke.
He's in the smoke.
And then you shoot him. It's a negative to hit him.
And
Yep.
now we got the British 1st Platoon. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
You got it straight.
Which unfortunately doesn't help. All right, so with the 1, tried to bring a 2-inch mortar on, failed. With a 3, tried to bring on a support option, failed. With a 2, I brought on the 3rd section. They made it through the barrage. So they deployed behind the wall, and they are going to be firing at that German machine gun section right there. So 5s and 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so you split those out over
3 guys.
3 teams.
All right, we'll put 2 on the fresh guys.
Okay,
1 dead.
1 dead. Is it a leader?
Nope.
No.
1 on the squad that's still, or the section that's still relatively intact. Nothing. And 1 on the other guy. Doesn't care.
Okay. And then with the 4, the senior leader that's back there is going to have the other 2 sections fire onto the same target.
Cool.
So the one that is not down a rifle, 5s and 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So we'll do 2, 2.
2, 2, 1 on the
Yeah.
little guy. Right.
So 2.
Going right to left.
Yep. 1 point of shock. Nothing. And little guy. Fine.
Okay. And then
I have 7.
alright. And then the section that is down a man. Same thing. 2.
Alright. So we'll leave the little guy alone. Fire squad, doesn't care. Squad you're aiming at, point of shock.
Alright, they are up to 2 shock. 1 shock, 2 shock, 1 shock. And that is the end of British 1st Platoon. And we move on to German 1st Platoon. And that is so many senior leaders. 6 and a 3. All right, so the senior leader right here is ordering one team to machine gun bear, having the other team fire, and they are firing into the Iron Barn. So it's 22 shots because of machine gun bear. They're down a single rifleman. Sending 5s and 6s.
Not a great roll.
Yeah, for 22 shots, that
3
is,
hits.
that is the Iron Barn for you. So rifles. Point of shock on the rifles. Nothing from the Bren.
Alright.
Alright, and he's still got 2 4s and a 3. Okay, so with the 3, the wounded junior leader is having that squad fire at the Iron Barn. 3 again.
3, yeah.
Okay. Oh no, you're doing just fine. So rifles.
Finally killed someone.
All right,
Yeah.
someone from the rifles dies. Okay. It's not the leader because he's already dead.
Yep.
And that is that it for 1st Platoon?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for 1st Platoon, and we have the command roll for British 2nd Platoon. 2, 3, 3, 3.
3.
3.
You guys like 3?
Yeah, that works. All right, so with a 2, the Iron Barn is going to fire at that German squad there. So needing 5 and 6s. Ooh, not a 1.
They're traumatized. They finally lost their real guy.
And then if there is a shock that can be pulled from them, then
So
you might as
there's-
well pull it.
So there's 3 on the rifles,
Ooh.
and there's 1 on the top. So I'm thinking
Unless you want to focus fire.
Yeah, pull. I would pull 1 from the rifles,
Pull 1
and then
from
have the entire section fire. So this is Brian's first time ever playing Chain of Command, and we threw him right into a big Chain of Command game, as we do here.
I truly appreciate it.
So you're losing 1 die.
Plus they lost some guys, didn't they?
You're down.
Yes.
No, he's from the Bren team. So you're down 1 die for shock.
Alright.
So 11 shots.
Three.
3.
And
Okay.
1 each. Alright.
British
We'll
firepower is
go
waning a little bit.
far to near.
So right to left here. So first one.
Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Can you do it? No.
Oh, damn. All right. And unless we try to bring on a 3rd section, which is not a good idea right now, that is it for 2nd Platoon. So we'll move on to German 2nd Platoon. All right, so German 2nd Infantry Platoon, they rolled a 1-1-3-5-5. So that brings them up to 5 pips on a chain command die, and they have a 2 1s and a 3 left over. So it's combining the 2 1s to fire this section here without any initiatives into the yellow house. Needing 5s and 6s, and damn, that's a lot of 6s I'm seeing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I think you should do all the rolling from now on.
All right, so we'll put 5 into the rifle team. Oh, that is 2 dead and a shock.
Yeah, pull those off.
Yeah, we'll see if the leader gets hit. No.
Well, hold on. You gotta keep rolling before you make that roll.
And the Bren, nothing. So yeah, the leader was not hit, but 2 dead men from the rifles and a point of shock. So with the 3, Ted deployed a squad right here. So they are out of line of sight from most of what's down there, or should be out of line of sight from everything that's down there, and really not anything from the barn. So putting all the shots into the yellow house.
1, 2, 3,
Not as good as the other
4,
squad, but
5.
5.
All right.
So we're going to put 3 on the rifles. 1 point of shock. Yeah, 2 on the Bren. We have a dead from the Bren. Is a leader hit? No. Okay. 1 dead man. 1 dead man out of the
down
Bren
to
team.
1 guy.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And you have equal numbers of shock on the Brent team.
The whole squad shares the shock.
You better not take another one.
Yep. Then they get pins, and they're in hard cover within hard cover. Okay, so there's just a remaining 3 for the...
No, the 3 was them.
The 3 was them. And the 2 was used to fire the other one. All right?
You can't do anything with the leader's initiative, right? It just went to the shooting.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing for them to do with it. So that brings us to the
Armored.
Allied armor. Okay, so we have a 6, 2 5s, a 3, and a 2. Okay, with the 3, there is a Sherman that's already in a good firing position, so it's just going to open fire with the whole machine gun and the main gun onto this squad here. So we'll start with the machine gun, needing 5s and 6s. That is 3 hits.
So 1, 1, and 1.
Yep.
All right. So the one that's not part of the thing that's getting hit twice, far to near. Nothing.
Okay. Middle group, point of shock.
Shot and
Little guy, point of shock. All right, so single guys on 2. The rest of them are on 3. And then we're firing the 75 mil. So needing 4s, 5s, and 6s. So that is 4 hits.
So 1, 2, 3. And then
You get to choose where the last one goes since they're all on cover, but it's all reduced to light cover.
all right. So we'll do 2 on the first, 1 and 1.
Okay.
So 2.
So with light cover.
Point of shock.
All right.
If you want to grab that, I'll just keep rolling. Other section, point of shock. Single guy dies.
Is dead. Well, is he? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so his shock, I believe, all goes away.
Yeah, it goes away.
He's dead. He can't
But
be
he's
shot.
dead. I don't know if it transfers onto the other team. I don't believe it does.
That's a bad thing for a
Team wiped
team
out.
wiped out. 3.
Okay, so that's a 3. Oh, we had the page marked. I'll keep going this way.
Is that what that paper's for?
No.
Team wiped out. Which, 1
3 is -1.
Cool. Down to 10.
So, yeah. First platoon goes down to 10.
Awesome.
Woohoo! And at the end of that firing, the armored platoon is going to use its chain of command point to end the turn. So the barrage goes away, and that little 3-inch mortar smoke goes away. So we'll clear all that up and then get back with the German armor roll. So the German armor have a 6-5-4, a 1, and a 1. So they have 3 pips on the chain of command die, and a 1, 1, and a 4.
Okay.
All right, so the senior leader is using one of his command initiatives via the radio to activate the main gunner of the lead Panther. He's firing its main gun into the yellow house.
Hitting on 4s.
That's
That's the after dice.
Yep.
2 and 2.
They've switched dice. All right. So, rifle team.
Shock.
We have a point of shock. And the Bren is...
Shock and a dead.
Yep. Shock and a dead.
All right. So the Bren is wiped out.
Okay. So that's a bad thing that happens for them. 4. That was -1.
And you have equal to the number of guys in the house. You get 4 on a leader and 5 shock.
Okay. So 1 more and they'll get pinned.
I thought it was equal. They got pinned. And,
More.
oh, okay.
Double, they break.
Okay, cool. Well, let's see if we can do terrible things to them. We're gonna play the everything goes into the house game.
Fire everything.
Yeah. So this is machine gun.
Okay. So 5s and 6s.
We get 2.
2. Well, can only go into the rifle squad now. So nothing.
And then
5 shots, meaning 4s and 5s.
that
4s, 5s, 6s.
is
No, only 4s and 5s. 6s come back. No.
3.
All right, so 3 light cover into the rifles. We have a single point of shock.
You are
so
pinned.
they are now pinned. Which means that they can't move. They can only fire with half effect.
Okay.
But they're now in hard cover no matter what you shoot at them.
They were in hardcover anyways.
Yeah.
3 the pin mark.
Yeah, there is a pin mark somewhere in there. And that's everything for the German armored platoon. So we will roll for British first platoon. And we got a pretty nice spread there. 1, 1, 2, 3, and a 4. All right, so with a 1, brought on a 2-inch mortar. It managed to drop a shot right onto the bridge. And then with one of the 3s, brought on the 17-pounder. It's right here with his gun shield behind the hedge. And it has a slightly obscured shot onto the side armor of the Panther. So it is using both of his command initiatives to have the gunner fire. So we're looking on for a 6 or better. And that is a 6. Well, it's better than a 6. 12. All right, so 12, AP 12, hitting the side armor of the tank. So looking for 4s or better. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Geez.
7.
Nope. 8.
Okay.
As 8, so you have to roll the armor dice
Do you have any idea what that is?
of the Panther. And you're looking for 5s or 6s for the armor.
11.
We have heavy armor, right?
Yeah, Panther. 11 dice.
Yeah, what does heavy armor do?
Oh.
No, that's the Tiger one. That's got
The Tiger ones get the heavy armor, yeah. Panthers do not.
Alright, cool.
So you got 11 dice, you're looking for 5s or 6s. You're gonna want to block
6.
a lot of it.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it preferably.
10, 11.
So looking for 5s or 6s. So you block...
3. So that's 4.
No,
No,
4.
you gotta...
Oh, sorry.
So you block
You beat
4.
by 3.
We'll go over to the book here. 4 hits, I'm assuming is going to be very bad for the tank. Tank's armored cars, well, 3 net hits or more it's either knocked out or explodes. So roll a d6 on a 5 or 6. It does bad things to the infantry right next to it.
6.
Okay, so you get d6 hits on the infantry within 4 inches.
6 hits.
So 6 hits on that squad. So you're not in cover. It's right next to it.
Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 dead.
5s and 6s are kills in the open.
Okay. In that case, 3 dead and 2 shock.
3 dead, 2 shock is a leader hit.
Let's roll a different colored dice so I can tell. Yes.
Yes, what happens to him? He's dead.
1. He's dead.
Okay, so we got a lot to figure out here.
So that's the entire squad wiped out on that.
Possibly, we'll take a look. Okay, so a lot happened with that. There was two junior leaders killed. So first platoon went down by 1, armored platoon went down by 1, and then because a armored fighting vehicle was knocked out, the other platoons, the infantry platoons that could see it happen, they ended up going down by 2. So now with the remaining 3 for that British infantry platoon, the junior leader is going to have the Bren focus fire on the pin squad with 1 hit. So you are in as hard of cover as you can get. Okay, and then we'll grab the firepower dice for the rest of it. So with the 4, the platoon sergeant is going to have everything else fire that hasn't already fired. So we're going to start with the full section. It's going to fire into the pinned one. So needing 5s and 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so 2
So
and
you
2.
spill over with 2 and 2.
So pinned guys, take a death, and next to them, nothing.
Okay. And then we've got.
Hold on, that might do bad things over here.
You were down to 2 men.
4 shock.
2 men with 4 shock. So yes, I believe they are going to break. So we will resolve that because it's going to change the targets for the rest of them. So we'll get back in a minute. All right, so they did break, and they dropped first platoon's force morale by 2. So the squad that, or the British section that is down by 1 rifleman is now just going to fire at the next in line. So 5s and 6s, they get 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nothing.
nothing. All right, and then we've got 6 rifle shots from the one whose Bren group has already fired. Nothing. So that was the remaining 3 in the 4 from British 1st Platoon, and we will go to the battered
Yay.
German 1st Platoon. Still has all 5 of its command dice.
So senior leader, 5.
So they're up to 5 points for chain of command. And it was a, what, 1-4-4?
Yep.
Lovely. The senior leader for that platoon pulled 2 points of shock, is having the entire squad fire onto the 17-pounder, needing 5s and 6s. That's some pretty
Better than I
decent
have
fire.
been rolling. That is 7.
7. Okay, 7 over 3 potential groups.
Get on to 3.
Yep, because they're within 4 inches of both teams of that other squad.
Okay.
And they're in hard cover, so I'm going to put the extra onto the rifles. So the one that you want to hit, they are,
The target's in soft cover.
Yeah.
but they have a gun shield, which is hard cover. So the one that you want to hit, nothing. The Bren team, nothing. And the rifles. Takes a point of shock.
All right.
Yep. Mind the rifles there. So that's the rifle team that is closest to the 17-pounder.
All right.
Okay, so that was one of your 2 4s.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you've got a 4 and a 1 remaining.
Oh.
All right, so they're not going to be using the remaining 4 or the 1, so we move on to British 2nd Platoon. And we have a 5, 1, 2, 2, 3. So with the 3, I brought the final section from 2nd Platoon on. They are on the 2nd floor of this house. We have the Bren there, and we have some rifles over here. So because of the angles on these windows, I'm going to fire the teams independently using a command initiative each. The Bren is going to fire at these Germans here in the open, And the rifles, 3 rifle shots that I get are going to go after that squad over there. So with the 6 shots from the Bren, meaning 5s and 6s, so that is 3 hits onto the Germans in the open.
Don't rely.
So it's 2 and 1 then, right?
No, they are in the lesser cover, so all the shots can go onto them.
I thought it was you got to choose.
You got to choose where they went. I didn't think they're within 4 inches.
2 and 1?
We will look it up. All right, so 2 are going on the ones in the open, 1's going on. Ooh, so that is 2 dead from the ones that are in the open. And a point of shock on the one in cover. So
Leader?
is a leader hit?
No.
No. So you lose 2 men in that group there. And we'll fire 3 rifle shots at the other ones. So they get 1 hit.
And that's on the near squad?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, and then there's more dice to work with. Okay, so the senior leader just pulled 3 points of shock off of the section that's on the first floor. They're no longer pinned. And the 2-inch mortar tried to drop around directly in front of the infantry squad that's in there, but missed with a 3, no line of sight, and ends up drifting 6 inches behind them. So that is it for the British 2nd Infantry Platoon. So we'll go on to the German 2nd Infantry Platoon. We have a 1, 3, 3, 4, 4. All right, so with one of the 3s, Ted moved one of the teams back, and the other team is going to fire onto the building. So they can shoot at the building, but they cannot be shot at from the building. Jeez.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so it's 2 on all the teams in the building. So we'll start with the battered rifle team that's on the first floor. They take 1 point of shock.
All right, they are up to 4.
So they're not pinned again yet.
They're good for now.
The Bren team on the second floor is a point of shock.
Okay.
And the rifle team that's on the second floor has 1 dead. The leader is hit.
Oh no.
And he is, I believe, knocked out. So he cannot activate until the end of the turn.
So Bren team takes a shock, and this guy, where's your Sten?
Yeah, Sten, just knock him over.
Yeah, I'm trying to find him.
But bad things happen. 5 on a junior leader wounded, I believe, is a 1.
I don't think you have a Sten in the squad.
And, well, I'll help Will find the Sten.
No,
Okay, so the this squad right here is just going to continue to pour fire onto the yellow house. As Ted counts up all of his dice. Why is this just a random order die over there? I don't know. But name 5 and 6s.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7.
Okay.
What do you want to take 3?
The 3 is going to go on to the fresher of the rifle squads.
Okay.
So got 2 on the rifle squad downstairs. They take a point of shock.
All right.
They're almost back to being pinned again. Bren team upstairs is a dead.
All right, I'll hold that for now.
And then the rifle team that is upstairs has nothing. Junior leader is not hit, so one from the Bren group is hit. Thank you.
And you've got, what, a 4 and a 1 left?
Yeah.
4 and 2 1s.
Oh, 4.
No,
and
1 and 2 4s.
1 and 2
Oh,
4s.
I'm sorry.
So you can bring on a team, or you can bring on a
I don't think
senior
we
leader.
have anything to Shrek at the moment. So,
No, there's nothing Shrekable in range.
no. And the senior leader, I wouldn't bring that on quite yet.
Yeah, so you still have an infantry squad that is
Yeah.
off. All right, so that will bring us to British armor. Okay, that's not the greatest, but I can work with that. Okay, so that Sherman down there just moved with 1d6. I rolled a 1, which cut at the 2 inches of movement that it needed, and he's going to be firing his main gun at this infantry right here. So, 4s, 1.
All right, Ted.
It's in the open.
Don't roll a 5 or 6.
It's a 1. Okay, doesn't care. So, I can't do anything with the rest of the dice from that roll, so we move on to German armor.
All right, let's do some stuff here. We got a 3. We got double phase. We got 2 2s. So
Yeah, so you can potentially bring your second tank on.
yeah, we'll try and bring the second tank on.
No. So that just leaves you with the
big boy.
Yep, the senior leader. All right, so as you saw, the other Panther wasn't able to come on, but the senior leader moved up with 1d6, had more than enough because it's fast on the road, got up to here, and will be firing the main gun and the hull into the yellow house.
So machine gun first.
1 hit.
1.
We'll go on the upstairs rifles. Nothing.
All right. 2.
2. All right. We'll go on the upstairs squad. So rifles. Nothing. Bren. Nothing.
Okay. And double phase. I got some 3s and some 4s.
Yep. So everything could potentially activate.
Let's try and bring on the tank. It does.
Yes. So the Panther comes on. So the Panther came on to the road right here, and it is facing down the 17-pounder, so it's going to be firing. It's HE.
3 hits.
3 hits. Okay, so that gets spread out between the 3 that's over there, but everyone's in light cover now. So 1 hit on the 17-pounder is nothing. The Bren next to them,
Pin.
point of shock, and the rifles, point of shock.
All right, cool.
So we have a point of shock on each. Should already do 1 down there for the rifles. And then you still have that 4 for your
Yep.
tank.
Anybody can he see the command tank with the 17-pounder right now?
I can see I think the very ass end of it.
All right, then I'll just 1d6 up and fire the main gun.
Yep.
So 2 inches up should be enough.
Well, it's 1d6, so you can fire with full effect.
No,
And
I mean like I'm moving 3 inches. This is more what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go do fit in right there. God damn it. Fit in right there. And no line of sight on tanks. So big yellow building down that aisle.
Yeah, you can fire both hull and turret because he's a senior leader.
Yes. Okay, cool. So 4, 5, 6.
Look at the hull.
We got 2.
2. All right. So we'll go the upstairs squad. Rifles. Nothing. Bren.
Dead.
Dead. What has it actually? No, it's not a leader. All right. So we have a dead. It's the second dead from the Bren.
Yep. They have what? 3 guys in the squad total?
Yep. So we're down to just the Bren there.
Alright, so again, still targeting upstairs squad. I have 2 hits.
Okay. Well, you hit the house. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to put it onto each of the rifles.
Don't you have to put one on the target squad?
Rifle
Oh,
squad.
okay, yeah, fair enough.
So upstairs rifles, we have a dead. Downstairs rifles,
Shock.
we have a point of shock. So for the upstairs rifle, not a leader.
Okay.
Okay. And that is...
And they are pinned again.
They are pinned again? All right.
Yeah, 6 shock.
So here is a pin marker for them.